So Uncle Maat the bed.
Here we are. All right, Uncle Maat, everyone. Let me just put an announcement that we're live before we get started. One moment. Okay. All right. Uncle Maat family. Give y'all a couple of moments to come in before we do the opening of the way. I don't know what it said. My apologies. Cut that on silent. All right. All right, Hemnetter. I would assume we can go ahead and get started.
All right. We asked everybody to get to the pose of adoration. Left foot forward, right foot back. Left hand back forward, and right hand slightly back. And we begin with the word of life, which is Uncle. Netrak in Bahat. Nuke in Bahat. Netrak happy. Nuke happy. Tuau and Tor. Turn to your right. Netrak circuit. Nuke circuit. Netrak Kepsanuf. Nuke Kepsanuf. Tuau and Tor. Turn to your right. Netrak As. Nuke As. Netrak Amset. Nuke Amset. Tuau and Tor. Turn to your right. Netrak Neat. Nuke Neat. Netrak Tuamotef. Nuke Tuamotef. Tuau and Tor. Turn to your right.
Newt.
Netrak Newt. Nuke.
Give.
Netrak
Give.
Give. Tuau and Tor.
Shoot.
Netrak Shoot. Nuke Shoot. Netrak Teflon. Nuke Teflon. Tuau and Tor. Netrak Paut. Interu. Nuke Paut. Interu. Tuau and Tor.
Netrak and Boo.
Netrak and Boo. Interu. Nuke and Boo. Interu. Tuau and Tor.
Dwa. Right. All right. All right. Welcome to another Sunday with us. Of course, as we get started, we always want to pay homage to the one and only Baba Heru. Dwa Baba Heru, Ankra Samad Sepata, Ma'ak Heru, opener of the way, bearer of Ma'at, and custodian of the Ankh. We continue the ritual which you have brought to us in honor of your legacy that we live today. We say Dua Baba Heru. Light my candle for you and place you there. All right, as we get started, giving our flowers to first and foremost our ancestors, Mbu Netaru, Himnetter, and Tepi Jed Ma'at Aten Rajabari, bringing us all together as a unit for the Shrine of Ma'at. Himnetter Waziri here, and his queen, Sarah, for always giving him the time and allowing him the time and the space to spend with us every week. And of course, all of you. Welcome again. All right. Before we get into things, of course, we're going to set the feather, and then we will get into today's discussion and announcements. We do have a couple of announcements. We have a see what kind of can Himnetta Wasuri is going to open up this morning, and we'll get into it. So let's go ahead and set our intentions for this morning's service. Call this the 4 breaths of life, of course. And the first one, we're going to take a deep breath so we can clear our minds. Second one, to cleanse the spirit. The third one, to lighten the heart. And the fourth and final, we're going to breathe in Ma'at and exhale if set. Dua, Ashe. I wake to live in Ma'at. I align my thoughts, my words, and my actions with Ma'at. And to that, I say Dua Neter, and let's get it started. Himnetter, what are we reading on today?
We're gonna come out of the Hosea today, and we're coming out of the book of Ani.
Okay.
So if you have your Hosea, you can go to page number 55, and we can begin at section number 9.
All right. Again, that's the Hosea. Give them a couple moments to turn in, and let's see. It's the Book of Wise Instructions, the Book of Ani, page 55, in section number 9.
Right. And so if you read along with section 9, it says, "Do not sit when one is older. Do not sit when one is older than you is standing, even if you have achieved the highest status in your profession. No fault is found with good character, but an evil character is always blamed." Section 10, "Walk each day in the way of righteousness, and you will reach the place to which you are going. Never speak evil words to any visitors. A word spoken carelessly someday when you are gossiping may overturn your house. If you are found generous in times of prosperity, when adversity comes, you will be able to bear it. If you are righteous, you will be recognized and respected. And whether you are among many or few, you will find your family and friends, and all you wish will be granted." Let not your heart be revealed to strangers, lest they use your words against you. Offensive words that come from your mouth, if repeated, can bitter can can make bitter enemies. A person can be ruined by his or her tongue. Take care, and you will fare well. The heart of humans is wide as a storehouse and full of answers of all kinds. Choose in that are good and speak them, and keep those that are bad enclosed in your belly. A harsh answer provokes strife, but one who speaks with gentleness is loved.
Yeah.
Double the gifts that your mother gave you and care for you for her as she cared of you. She bore a heavy burden in you and did not abandon you. When she brought you forth after your months, she was still bound closely to you, for her breasts were still in your mouth for 3 years while you grew. She cleaned your filth without disgust in her heart and without saying, "Oh, what can I do?" She placed you in school to be educated and came in there daily on your behalf with bread and beer for your teacher. Thus, when you become a young man and marry a wife and establish your house, lose not sight of your own childhood. Raise your children as your mother did you. Do not let her and find fault with you, lest she raise her hand to God against you, and let her hear her complaints and punish you. Ashe.
Ashe, ashe. Okay. So out of that, starting with the first one where it says, do not sit when one who is older than you is standing, even if you have achieved a higher status in your profession. No fault is found with such character, but an evil character is always blamed. So that's number 9. And out of number 9, what are your thoughts in reference to number 9 when it's talking about do not sit when an elder is standing?
It's so it's so important to understand that sometimes don't get too big for yourself. I say so as you get as you have achieved so much, then all of a sudden you think you're bigger than everybody else. So as the elders get together to send you to school, then all of a sudden you think you're bigger than them. So this here is bringing you back to your place and know who you are and what you are and where you came from. Don't ever forget where you came from and what was done for you to get to the level that you are there today.
Facts, facts. That's right. I got you there. I understand that, and I just think that some other texts we had read before, the elders' days are short now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Their days were long, and now their life is now cut short. So I think with all due keeping the respect, also keeping the respect, and you said something that was very critical. That don't ever forget what helped you to get there where you are now, wherever you are, especially if you are considered someplace in high esteem. It took a lot of people support to get you there, mainly elders that supported you, that believed in you, and that actually pushed you forward to that education or that knowledge. And you may have exceeded them, but you never forget what led you there, and keep in all respect. I also envision, just looking at the text, just envision when, for instance, a lot of people in New York City ride the train. We have the train here too, the subway. And you alls may not get as full. You guys get full, but you have a lot of trains, so there's always some place to sit. Here, there are times when the train is full, and you get on the train, and there's some young folks sitting, but you see some elders standing, the wise one, or the wise one would stand and give that seat to an elder, because it's not about knowing the person or them per se being an elder in your life. They are an elder whose years have been long for somebody, even if it wasn't you, you know. So I always appreciate when I see that. And sometimes when I ride the train and it's kind of full, but those seats are open, I don't sit in them, and a couple of people don't sit in them, because we know that there's going to be someone older that gets on this train is going to need that seat. So why stand up? And it's almost like an unspoken code in some areas, where if the train is empty, well, where you sit is where you sit. But it's almost like a thing that you get on there. If it's full, tentatively those seats are kind of left protected in case an elder gets on there. And I do generally see people that will get up when an elder gets on. So it reminds me of that kind of respect. It's not about even knowing. You just know that an elder is someone that you should have honor and respect for. Even when you're at the store, or in public places and things like that, where you don't even know them, but never stand or never sit while an elder is standing. I feel that deeply in many ways, because I have a lot of respect for older folks and elders. You know what I mean? So, and then number 10 says, walk each day in the way of the righteous, and you will reach the place to which you are going. Never speak evil words to any visitors. A word spoken carelessly someday when you are gossiping may overturn your house. That's deep right there. I highlighted that part. Um, and then the rest says, if you are found generous in a time of prosperity, when adversity comes, you will be able to bear it. If you are righteous, you'll be recognized and respected. And whether you are among many or few, you will find your family and friends, and all you wish will be granted. But I highlighted where it says, a word spoken carelessly someday when you're gossiping may overturn your house. And I say that if you are someone who, I wouldn't even say you, but the act of gossiping, if you're gossiping about others, I'm sure you gossip, somebody's got those that you're gossiping with is gossiping about you. And it reminds me of the old saying, you don't throw stone at a glass house. You know what I mean? Um, it's a lot of folks, and I've been guilty of that myself. And it's the older you get and the more you, I don't even like the word consciousness, but the more you come into your being and your, so to speak, righteousness, when it's true and when it's sincere, you start to recognize certain traits, not in so much in anybody else, but in yourself, that you no longer engage with. I've been guilty of doing that, throwing stones, and you know what I mean. And it's kind of like you get around folks who have so much to say and so much opinion about other people's lives, but they discuss not their own. You know what I mean? It's the man in the mirror effect. And I've noticed that over the years, and it's not to say that I don't even really surround myself with that too much anymore, but I can say that I've been guilty of doing that. We can easily pluck out, and I think there's all kinds of sacred texts, even scriptures that even talk about the same thing. I think one of the, I can't remember the exact verse, but I know in the Christian text it talks about plucking out the speck in somebody else's eye. You know what I mean? And this is something that's been, when you're talking about these different moral concepts, these are basic moral concepts that have been recognized since the beginning of time, since morality has existed. You know what I mean? And we can find them, which we all know that the Hosea is one of the oldest books in the world. And here it's saying the same thing, where it says, again, a word spoken carelessly someday when you are gossiping may overturn your house. So I take heed to things like that. I find that when I'm even speaking on somebody else's situation, or their life or any of that, if it's not with that person, who am I but to observe what's right or wrong, or how one should walk or how they shouldn't walk? I better focus on the direction I'm going. so that I'm not leading anybody or myself to hell with gasoline draws on. That's all I can, what I mean, keeping it honest with you. While you're worried about yeah, I see some comments in there too. Even old fool knows something useful. Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Somebody in the chat says even an old fool knows something useful. You got that right. You got that right. So, but that with that next one in number 10, the last time I'm going to say it again, a word spoken carelessly someday when you're gossiping may overturn your home. So make sure your house is clean before you're sweeping off the porches of others. Those old sayings have always existed. And now, when you get a little older and you get a little wiser, they start to make sense.
It's important. And it says here, but if you are righteous, you will be recognized and respected. And whether you are among many of you, you will find your family and friends, and all you wish for will be granted.
That's right. And that part, if you are righteous, you'll be recognized. If that's the case, then you don't have to stand on a box and say, hey, I'm righteous. You just
Right.
are. It is so.
That's right.
It doesn't require an announcement when you are just being.
And people will know that you are righteous because you're dealing from the perspective of coming from Ma'at.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Ma'at? Truth, righteousness, and
harmony, reciprocity.
right.
Those things. You're not easily willed by the falsities or gossip, or you know what I mean.
It's so important to stay away from gossip.
And it's it's energy draining. You also have to be able to protect. If you're engaging in that, how can you protect your spirit when you are allowing it to be soaked with these things? You know what I mean?
So important. So be of good character, like we started off. Be of good character.
Mm-hmm.
But an evil character is always blamed. But stay away from the evil character. And if you stay good character, people will always cherish your character and cherish who you are. It's so important.
And then we have number 11. Let not your heart be revealed to strangers, lest they use your words against you. Offensive words that come from your mouth, if repeated, can make bitter enemies. A person can be ruined by his or her tongue. Take care, and you will fare well. So take care, and you will fare well. The heart of human is wide as a storehouse, and full of answers of all kinds. Choose then those that are good and speak them, and keep those that are bad enclosed in your belly. I highlighted that. A harsh answer provokes strife, but one who speaks with gentleness is loved. That's just the basic. If you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all.
No,
Really.
no doubt.
You know what I mean? You can't say nothing good. And I know sometimes we get into it's necessary to say the hard truth. It's, you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of times when you're standing your ground because you are 100% right, completely right. But is your right worth the strife that it may cause? And that doesn't even mean, I want it to be clear that I don't mean for you to fold your truth. But there's also some self-integrity in not folding your truth. Doesn't mean you're folding your truth or tucking it away. But does your truth, just because it's your truth and it's true, it's not false, does it cause more strife? Can you balance that? Can you implement ma'at when your truth may cause another strife without you actually folding your truth or digressing your truth? Can you find a way to implement ma'at in a way that it's not a cause of strife? Because we find this in in, so to speak, conversations, discussions, debates, disagreements, when we talk about different ideologies as far as Western, ancient African, and all of these things. A lot of times in my mind, you know what I hear? What it comes to me is, oh, these are the Bloods, and we're claiming sets pretty much. So I don't see it being a productive way of keeping unity. So how do we implement like, again, we know that the holidays are coming up, and a lot of folks are like, I don't celebrate this, and I get these things, but how do you implement ma'at so that it is not something that causes strife and you get to enjoy time with your family? Majority of our families who celebrate Christmas or anything, that we, so to speak, don't celebrate. I celebrate family. So any holiday that comes up and I get an opportunity to do so, I do so.
And that's so important for the fact that it's not the holiday that we're celebrating. We're celebrating the family, and those that are with us and those that have gone on. So it's important that we recognize that this holiday is not, it's not the holiday, and not to get caught up in the spending that holidays bring.
Mhm.
So if we get caught up in the people and what the people have done for us, it's so important.
That's right.
It's
Christmas was one of my mother's favorite holidays. So Christmas is very important to our family because my mother was the center of every year. It was, she went all out. I don't know what she did, but this woman did that. So for us, we always got together on Christmas Eve. And then all of us, everybody's family did their own thing on Christmas Day. For us, it was always about that because that was her thing. Even 10 years ago when I got into, comedic legacy and different things like that, and became more of a, more tapped to my African center. So I didn't celebrate Christmas per se for the holiday itself, but the holiday was my family. That was what was holy about those days, because those are memories and those are times you can't get back. I would be crazy to celebrate any of those days that I could spend with my mom's been gone now 4 years. If I could spend one more Christmas, you know what I'm saying? So I would never spend that time utilizing it to debate or debunk someone's way. Because ultimately we all, again, have to land at our own destinations. So who am I to tell you that your walk is wrong if it's working for you? But what I am going to do is spend this time at your feet, spend this time embracing the love that, some of us only get to see our families once a year for this holiday. A harsh answer provokes strife, but one who speaks with gentleness is loved. And that's also in part 11 that we were just finishing up. Number 12. Double the gifts your mother gave and care for her as she cared for you. She bore a heavy burden in you and did not abandon you. When she brought you forth after your months, she was still bound closely to you, for her breasts were still in your mouth for 3 years. While you grew, she cleaned your filth without disgust in her heart and without saying, "Oh, what can I do?" She placed you in school to be educated and came there daily on your behalf with bread and beer for your teacher. Thus, when you become a young man and marry a wife and establish your house, lose not sight of your own childhood. Raise your children as your mother did you. Do not let her find fault with you, lest she raises her hand to net her against you, and let her hear her complaints and punish you. Now, that's also deep in many ways because many of us had different upbringings, I could say. You've had the iconic parent. You've had it's many, 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 many facets of our lives that we can all either find some common ground, and then some things that are very, very different. My mom was the backbone of our family. You know what I mean? Some were grandmothers, some were, but I always think about there was a time that I've always been in healthcare, but I was doing home health care. And these people, it would be so sad because they would be rich people in the house with their mothers, but they would hire someone to come and take care of them. And that would be me. I would come in and take care of their elder, their mother, sometimes the father, depends on, mother, father, whichever. But they're in the house and they're just living life, but they hire somebody to come. Some of them barely even came to visit. But they're in the same house. But you hire somebody to come and sit with your parent and bathe them and feed them, and it was sad. It was sad. And I think about a lot of us Black families and what our mothers, grandmothers, fathers, our parents have sacrificed and done for us. And really, there is nothing that we could really repay them to do what they've done for us. Nothing. Exactly. It's look, how for our that the love and respect is totally different. Most of us didn't grow up on having the internet. You actually physically had to communicate with each other. That meant your family, your friends. The love and respect was on a different level back then. And the generations now, I can't say that they're all the way lost, but they're very, very, very far from that type of love and respect that a lot of us came up on. Now, I'm not sure about you, Himnet or Waziri, but I know that, you know, we sat in the dining room and had dinner every night. You know, it wasn't super, super structured, but we still had those foundations. Like we weren't able to go in the room where the elders were talking. You weren't able to interrupt adult conversations. Um, you didn't talk back. You didn't even say why when you were told something. And what if you did say why? Give me your most memorable comment that would be responded to. What would they say if you asked one of your parents why? What would they say to you?
I said so.
Because I said so, right?
Right.
You know. So, um, but it's a lot different now. The kids speak to their parents any old kind of way. Some of them put their hands on their parents,
Mm-hmm.
or worse. But I also didn't grow up with grandparents that were 30 years old.
Very, very much. Very
You
much.
know, I didn't have grandparents. So we didn't see a lot of grandparents that were, you know, young. And I had both sets of my grandparents, my mom's side and dad's side. And it was, they were very old fashioned, very old fashioned. But the morals have have changed because the parents aren't raising children anymore. The internet is.
Very much. Very much.
But these were very heavy topics, I should say, in those 10. But the book of wise instruction, all of those years ago, we can, as we all know, again, the Husia is one of the oldest books, if not the oldest book, but one of the oldest books. And it was discussing these morals then. And if we look at the way the family is now, the dynamics of family, let's say all relationships, friendships, family ships, the dynamics now are so different because there's not a lot of like social skills involved. There's not a lot of true communication. Everything is now so digital. Even when you with your significant other, you could be married, you probably text more than you conversate. With your children, you probably text back and forth more than you physically conversate. How many people go out to a restaurant with your family and I'm sure everybody has seen it. If you just look around at other families, nobody's conversating. Everybody's like this. Their heads are down at their phone. Nobody's conversating. Yes, the Husia is Kemetic. The Husia is looks like this. Let's see if you can see it. The Husia is sacred wisdom of ancient Egypt, which is known with Egypt, but ancient Kemet. And this was the selected and retranslated by Malana Karenga. It's the standard version. So yes. And you are not kidding that it's a total different world that we live in now. Total different world. Let's see if we have any other comments, and then we'll talk about our announcements today. Let me just take a look here. Let's see if we have any other. Yeah, we definitely have some comments. Let's see. Arsenet Yashara Sakina Ra. Don't say anything you don't want repeated. Lies or unwarranted. Yep, to someone else's character. You got that right. Humble people don't say they're humble. You got that right. That's when I was saying you don't stand on a soapbox to say, that's one of the telltale signs. If you have to continue to say how much peace you have and how righteous you are, that's pretty much showing your slip. Your slip is showing under that skirt right there. You got that right, sis. Let's see what else. Got St. Cleo Ford here. Ma'atan Walker. Let's see. Biggest pet peeve is that of humble people. So that Cheryl Lee, right. My family knows that for me, it's family time and appreciation for life together again. You got that right. And sometimes when we leave those family functions, which they consider holidays, that might be the last time. That might be the last. I always think about that at family reunions and cookouts. A lot of times I'm emotional, teary-eyed. I don't care who I didn't speak to. I actually don't have that where I don't speak to this one and that one and that one. Other family members do that weird stuff, but I always have that emotional feeling like I know that it's going to be the last time you see somebody, because that's somebody's last time. Might be yours, might be mine, but it's somebody's last time.
Right.
It always is somebody's last time. See what else we have. We have St. Garrick Vaughn here. I'll come out to you. Some countries that honor their elders don't have nursing homes. They feel they're personally responsible for taking care of them. Yeah, that's true. That is true. There also is Ma'at there as well. We should teach how to ask questions, not that they can't ask them. Yeah. Very, very, very true. Very true. Well, I always like how the Husia is set up because it's kind of just short. Each one of them, kind of just like short. They're utterances. That's exactly what Husia means. It's utterance. So these are utterances. And there are things that definitely are not only thought provoking, but motivational because they are basic keys to morality, to just being a moral human, in other words. You know what I mean? Certain things. And I mean, I noticed that, like I said, the older you get, the more you are mindful of certain things. I guard my tongue. And sometimes I actually even go to my aunt and ask my aunt to balance me even for my thoughts sometimes. Because even if I don't say it, I don't want to necessarily have thoughts that are not healthy, but they come. They come for all of us. But it doesn't get the best of me. And I don't, you know what I mean? We still we still deal with those things within ourselves. And there, when you judge anyways, it's nothing but a reflection about the way we feel about ourselves. So it's really, really more of an internal, or oh, yes, an inter tiff, I should say, not even a battle so much, but a tiff. Correct. Mindfulness. And it becomes, the more you are mindful, it just becomes a natural practice. It's technically not a practice. It's just when you're really trying, when you're not even trying, when you start to actually step into that life of Ma'at and you're living it, these things of self-correction come naturally. It's without thought. I was the kind of person who used to keep a cup full of nuts or screws in my cup holder in my car, or pennies, because I would grab full of them and toss them right out the window at you. I was, a lot had to be restored with me. My temper was short. So it is mindfulness. And now getting cut off, and I'm a great driver, but now getting cut off means I slow down. Maybe that person has an emergency. Maybe that person, is in a hurry for a better reason. But that one piece of anger can take your day off balance the whole day. So it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't look for somebody to say thank you when I hold the door for them, because it was just the right thing to do. It really wasn't for them. You know what I mean? Things change when you are practicing mindfulness, and that, Cheryl, you're right. And it doesn't really become, it's no longer about what it is you're doing. It's just a natural, again, like the text says, righteousness. You don't have to announce that you're righteous.
I
That was the
think
first one, right?
I think as you go on in this book, it says, "Do my and live." So that's the development of character.
Hmm.
So we work on developing our character of who we are and what we are. So
Hmm.
it's so important. If we concentrate on doing ma'at and understanding what ma'at is, and the fact that do ma'at and live is so important, and the fact that it is a way of us developing our character.
Exactly. Exactly. It
So
certainly is. And I think that, again, just like you said, when you do, there is something that says, let me find it here. He who lives by Ma'at shall not die. That's from the coffin text, spelled 335. I live by Ma'at, and Ma'at lives through me. And it's something that becomes routine. It becomes etched in our everyday, nearly every moment. Because before, when there wasn't a second to think about your next move, next word, next action, or next thought, Ma'at's there now. Some of our members, they were talking about creation in the Seba'it, and we're talking about the noon, where there was the nothingness. That space of nothingness that wasn't there before, now Ma'at does exist there. Think about it. In a time before, where you may have reacted, you may have acted, you might have been the proactor versus the reactor, or whatever the situation may have been. In that noon space, there was the chaotic waters, and now Ma'at is there in that space just before that next thing. So it's the reaction, the thought, the word, whatever may come. Ma'at exists there now. And that's also that mindfulness that Sinette Cheryl was talking about. That's the creation of Ma'at in those spaces that weren't there at once upon a time. And they may have been there, but we didn't know, we weren't tapped into those spaces. Now it's there. Not only as a reminder, but as a guard and a director and an usher for us to be righteous people without standing on the throne saying that we're righteous. Because even that, standing on the throne and saying you're righteous is not ma'at.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
That in itself is out of balance. But now that that space has been created, a lot of times now a decision comes out different from what it would have in the past. Your words come out different from what they would have. Your action comes out different. Even your feeling towards something may come out different now because that space has been filled with ma'at. I think that's really, really, that's really crucial to our growth as Kemetic practitioners. As we read text and things like that, we always have to keep in mind the reality is our goal is to ankh and ma'at, just the way that we greet each other. Live in balance, righteousness. All right. So with that being said, we will move on to the next. I did not have any prayer request this week. Make sure to see if we have any. We do. She also says, it amazes me how the Bible had taken and plagiarized its scriptures straight from the Kemetic teaching. Yes, this is true. But I also think another way about that as well, not just the Bible, but a lot of them. Because you can almost find any, I would say, newer ideology or religion, just like we always know that you will find a lot plagiarized and a lot, mimicked from the ancient times, like she said, straight from the Kemetic teaching and other teachings of ancient African times. And they took the information, utilized it for whatever their era and time and purposes were. They did not give credit. But now with us, one thing with us you can call us investigators too, because we investigate the truth as we live it. And as we have all of this information coming into the physical form where we can prove these different things, where it can no longer be contested, can also see why so many of the things of our ancient ways were stolen. When you have divine people who live and have civilizations for thousands of years, such as the way Kemet did, it would be no surprise that anyone would try to plagiarize its way to mimic it. But when you're utilizing it for purposes outside of Ma'at, you see what happens. We already see what happens. All right. So what do we have? That's a beautiful reading. Hamnetta, do you have anything to add to it?
No, but we understand that the fact that Ra created the universe, and the fact that he created understanding that without the universe he couldn't even do what he done through the noon. As we understand through the noon, he is better to create the fact that understanding the meaning and the fact that we're dealing with the multiple meanings of Ma'at: righteousness, truth, justice, order, harmony, and levelness. Its importance lies in the fact that it is a divine concept, power, and practice, which not only informed and aided Ra's action, but was established as the fundamental concept, power, and practice for the organization, the maintenance, and development of human society also. Thus, in each book, Ma'at is a central concern, and focus, whether as truth, justice, righteousness, order, or harmony. So that's one of the things that we have to understand, that Ma'at is something that we are to follow in our walk in this universe. It's so important.
That's right. That's right. Definitely agreed there. You got that right. And with that, we'll do that. That's definitely, I think about all of those principles, the seven, that we talked about, the different, and there are, I don't think that the attributes of Ma'at can even be measured, but the core ones that we as Kemetic practitioners here that are speaking of the seven principles as a tangible and attainable uh, attributes that we can actually start to develop and practice every single day in this moment right now. I think that's why it is there's not just seven, but these are the seven attributes that we can uphold in this moment as we continue to grow in ourselves and in our legacy and in walking in Ma'at. And Ma'at is also love. Exactly. Ma'at is also love. You have to have that divine love, for most of all, for that within you, because with what's within you is the same thing that's without, and that is keeping that balance for all things, and you are part of all things. You know what I mean? So just like we are all connected, in some way, shape, or form, energetically, that creation that he was talking about with Ra, where he created in the noon, you remember that Ma'at was created during creation itself at the same time simultaneously to put things into order because of the chaos, because of that the chaos that in the primordial waters. Many of us, and like I said, there's Sanu in our shrine that have Seba'it, and they've been talking about these creation stories. And I see the aspect in almost every facet of topic that we conversate about. Without Ma'at, that's what's there. That's what's left, the opposite of Ma'at, Ifset. So Ma'at is set into order for us to be able to do exactly what Hop for Op said, to love, to remain in balance with the cosmos, the universe, and everything around us, the harmony. And without that, there's disorder. Without those attributes, there is disorder. So let's keep striving. Keep striving. As far as announcements go today, sorry, there's been some confusion in reference to Baba Heru's celebration and ceremony. I am sure that many have seen the flyers as it stands. It went from 2 days to 1 day, well, the final is the 2 days. Everybody should have seen these flyers. Let me see if I can show them. Let's see. Again, one moment. Okay. Let's see how to my screen. All right, so that's the one. Can you see that?
No.
Is that sharing on the screen? Can you see it?
No. It's not there yet.
Oh, I think I have to do this. I didn't know. There we go. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right, so that's one. But this was the save the date. I have the current. Let me pull all of that. Let me get this right. Oh, here we go. Now I got it. And okay, here we go. There's the one for Saturday. So this is Saturday. Seems like it's a little cut off. I can't make it. So on Saturday, it's going to be at the Caribbean Culture Center. That is in Harlem off 125th Street. That's Saturday the 6th, and the time will be 1 p.m. Then we have Sunday. There's Sunday. Let's see. Okay. That's the one I showed you already now. There we go. And there's this one. If I'm sure everybody has seen it, but then there's that one for the 7th. That's also going to be 1 o'clock. That's at the Medgar Evers College, and that's in Brooklyn. We also have, if any of you have not had a chance to or did not have the information, there's the GoFundMe page. Get that one. GoFundMe. Oh, I know where I have that. Y'all know I'm still not all that tech savvy, right? I'm getting there though. The GoFundMe is here. So that if you'd like to donate to the GoFundMe, there's also a Zelle, which I can put that up as well. Just want to make sure I put the right info up. It's Dwa R Hrw email, but I want to make sure that it's the correct one. I don't want to. Okay, here we go. Too many. So many messages. I'm trying to get to it. I believe that it is on the page though. So you can always check if I don't find it while I'm scrolling through here, you can always check our private page for it. It's also on the main page, on the Shrine of Ma'at page. You can look at Sanjetti's page. It's on his page. He has shared it. I've shared it as well. But we have so many messages now. I'm just trying to scroll through so I can put it here for you. But that is definitely the GoFundMe if you care to donate. And again, there is, oh yeah, this is just Keep going. Yeah, I'll get that when I can. And again, that's going to be on December 6th and December 7th. Let's see, is there another? So Saturday is in Harlem, Sunday is in Brooklyn. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Both times are 1 o'clock. Saturday is going to be a little more laid back. On Sunday, all comedic practitioners are requested to wear white with a hint of purple. So like a purple scarf or something of that nature, but white with purple accent. On Saturday, again, it's a little more laid back. But yes, you got it. That is definitely correct. Harlem on Saturday and Brooklyn on Sunday. Right. And before we close out, let me just make sure there are no more comments or anything. Yes, they're both at 1 o'clock. They are both at 1 o'clock. And that one was the one for Sunday. This one at least had, the other one had the address on it too, but it was kind of cut off at the bottom. If I move this banner for a moment so you can see it. That's the address for the Medgar Evers College. So that's that. All right. All right. So I believe that is everything. So we can get ready to, unless there is anything anybody else has, I'll check the chats. We don't have anything there. And we're good. And Netter, do you want to close us out with anything before we say our closing prayer?
I look forward to seeing everybody at Baba Ru's ceremony. So as we go forth and bring forth the balance and peace, we, as a shrine, we shall definitely be able to shine.
Absolutely. Oh, and as a Shrine of Ma'at members, make sure you wear your sa that we all got as initiates. Just wear your sa, and of course anything else that any of you might have purchased from Baba Hrw. That would be great to wear that and to raise that energy up when you all come. I'm excited to see everybody. I know that this is not really it's not really sad. This is it's a celebration. And I'm actually honored because we've all, Baba has played, whether large, no matter the part in all of our lives in some way as we have come into this legacy. So I'm excited to see a lot of you guys in the physical. It's gonna be a real great celebration, raising some vibrations. We should walk away from there energized and ready to continue to work. All right, so I will close us out with the Amasu. And as you all know, I like to slow down and read it now because I like to try to get the words correct. Even though I know what they say, we'll do the translation afterward, but I do like to actually read it from the text so that it's coming out as appropriately as I can speak it, let's just say. Okay. All right. Amasu impa neter, sauexu, imit impa neter, aua tuua maketipa heru. Give thyself to neter, keep thyself daily for neter, and let tomorrow be as today. Tau enter. Shemima'at, see you all next week. Don't forget, there should be Sebaid today at 12 noon. I did not get a chance to see if there's a flyer, so please just check out the page to see if there is a link. There will be Sebaid on the Sundays that Comedica session is not at 12 noon Eastern time. So be sure to check out the private page for the link for that if you like to attend Sebaid held by our Sanu, members of the Shrine Ma'at. All right, Shema Ma'at, everyone, and have a prosperous and blessed week. Uncle Jasaneb to all of you.
Shema Ma'at.